Hi, boys and girls. It is Mrs. Kearse. I'm here again with you today to talk about nonfiction text. We are still learning ways to get super smart about our nonfiction topics, and one way to do that is by learning about text features we find in our nonfiction books. Now, we don't see these in our fiction stories, so that's what makes them special, and that's why we need to learn about them. So let's go right ahead. We have the first text feature is a photograph. Now, you probably already know what a photograph is. It's an actual picture taken by a camera that gives the reader more information about a topic. So here we have a picture of some boys and girls at a pool. I hope to be there soon. We also have a photograph of a photographer tossing up his camera. The wind's just doing that. We also have a photograph of some mountains. Now, on the other side of this slide, we have an illustration. Now, boys and girls, it's just a fancy way of saying a drawing. And an illustration is a drawing about a topic, or it's related to the text that we're reading about. So we have an illustration of a lion, an underwater illustration, an illustration of a bird down here, and then we have this illustration of all these kids. Now, we know that it's not real, so it's not a photograph. We know that those are drawings and not actual children. All right, now, another text feature that we can find in our nonfiction books is known as a caption. Now, captions have information near or below a photograph or an illustration, and they tell you more about the picture, about the topic. Here we have a tortoise, and let's read the caption so we know what it's about. This tortoise moves slowly across the grass. It enjoys sitting in the shade and eating leafy plants. The life of a tortoise. Another feature that we can find in nonfiction text is known as a sidebar. Now, it's just a fancy way of saying the text box that's on the side of your text. So it's in the side column of your text. Let's move on. Now, I hope you're paying attention about what was an illustration and what was a photograph. So put your thinking caps on because I'm going to test you. Now, I've seen this guy on the Gilmet Elementary website. Now, is that an illustration or a photograph? That's right, it's an illustration because it's a drawing. Good job. What about this wolf pup up here? Is that an illustration or a photograph? That's right, it's a photograph. Good job. It's an actual wolf pup. And then what about this guy right here? You got it, that's an illustration because it's a drawing. Good job. We're going to move on to our next text feature. It's known as a diagram. And a diagram shows us the parts of an object. So here we have a laptop, right? And we know that because the heading tells us that. It says a laptop computer right there. And it gives us all these wonderful labels. And the labels tell us the parts of the topic. So these are the parts of the computer. Monitor, right, where we can see the images, the on and off switch, and the keyboard. I also provided you with a diagram of a plant. So it lists all the parts of the plant, the flower, the fruit, the leaf, the stem, and the roots. And here also tells us the labels. We have an arm, a heat source, and liquid. Another text feature we can find in nonfiction text is known as a map. Now, maps show us the location of a place, and they're used to show where places are located and how they relate to other places. So labels and keys can also help us understand what is being shown. So here we have a map of most of the United States, and it lists all the states right here. But down below, we have a map of the world. Now, that would be if you took the Earth and you flattened it out, that's what would be how it would relate to each other. Now, up here on the right, we have this colorful map. Is the map of the city of Lawrence. It tells us all the parts. Here we have the Merrimack River coming right through it in blue. It also lists Methuen up here, and it also lists North Andover. Another text feature is known as a cutaway. It's a figure that shows an image that has been cut open. It helps the reader understand something by looking at it from the inside. So here we get to see the inside of a shark. And the other image is the inside of the earth. We know that the earth is made up of many different layers, and so it describes that by using this cutaway. We can see it then. Another text feature is graphs and charts. They display information visually, so we can see them. A graph over here this one's a bar graph. It is displaying people's favorite colors. This is a pie chart. We have a line graph, and we also have a pictograph because it's pictures. We also can use a chart when we're polling information, like say if we want to poll what people want to eat for lunch, or what is your favorite ice cream. This could have been a poll we took in first grade. Here it says 4 students liked vanilla the best, and 6 chocolate, strawberry 3, mint 5, and cookie dough 10. What was your favorite ice cream? Another text feature we can find in our nonfiction text or in documents is known as a hyperlink. It's a highlighted text, icon, or graphic in a document that links you to another document or web page. Basically, boys and girls, it's when you can click on something and it takes you to another place. Usually you can use it right with your computer mouse. So this is actually a live hyperlink. It's of our menu, and it would take us right to our daily activities page, right to our first grade menu, but I'm not gonna click it because I don't know how to get back to these slides. Last time I tried, it didn't go as planned. All right, so moving right along, boys and girls. Another thing we can learn about is icons. They're pictures on a computer or digital device that opens an application, file, or website. Varies. Usually it's linked by hyperlink. Text feature I'm going to talk about today is known as a timeline. And what a timeline does, it displays events in the order in which they happen. So if we were supposed to take a timeline of your life, we think about when were you first born, what's your birthday, then maybe about when you took your first steps, or when you lost your first tooth, or when you first learned how to ride a bike. All these really big events we would plot in your timeline, okay? All right, boys and girls, thanks for being such good listeners. And I've also provided you with some boom cards so you can practice all the things you've learned about text features in nonfiction text. Have a great day. Keep on working hard. Bye, guys.